I was investigating Johnny. And along the way, you collect collateral evidence. Sometimes you collect evidence that redounds to the disadvantage of the client.
What's fascinating about this is that they were the words of an individual that Amber actually hired to dig up dirt on her ex-husband. But as you have just heard him say, it pretty much backfired as he began to discover some pretty less than ideal things about the actress, and now it seems he has decided to shed more light on what he learned about her. And knowing Amber, this isn't something she'll take very well. Interested in knowing what was discovered about Hollywood's most radioactive actress? Then stick around till the end to get the full story.
For a reason, if it's okay for people to behave in this way to him, then it would also be for me. And I think part of why I feel so aligned now as a champion of the United Nations human rights. Sorry, it's hard to say. Part of why I feel in alignment with them is because the basic pledge involves saying if anyone's human rights are denied, everyone's human rights are denied.
I know after seeing her act like this in public, you're thinking that there's no way it gets worse than that. But according to a professional investigator, this might actually be one of the best you could see of her, as he's just revealed some pretty ugly details about the actress's life away from the public. So, if you've been as interested in the Depp Heard story from the beginning, then you've probably heard the tale of the private investigator Amber hired to dig up dirt on Johnny while they were married. Well, not only did the investigator switch sides after finding out who Johnny really is, but he also revealed details about some of the less than ideal things Amber has been into in the course of her life. You see, during the period that the PI, Paul Barresi, was investigating Johnny, he interviewed quite a lot of people. Specifically, Barresi interviewed 100 people across the US and Europe who worked with Depp on films dating back 30 years. And now, the details of one of those interviews has made it to social media, and fans are going crazy. The document, which was one of the investigator's files that was supposed to come into the trial as evidence, revealed that he interviewed former Viper Room employee, child actress, writer, producer Ann McDonald. According to him, this was his daily report to Amber Heard's lawyers offers chapter and verse as to what Seven had to say about Johnny Depp. And if I told you that all she had to say about the actor were good things, it would look like an exaggeration. So here, see for yourself. And after realizing he couldn't get any dirt on Johnny, Barresi was fired by Amber. However, the PI from Rancho Cucamonga, California, who was once hired to investigate unproven claims that Tom Cruise had a gay affair, had ignited a fascination in himself and continued investigating Depp. From some of Depp's closest friends, he learned the A-lister was surrounded by so-called pals who leached off him financially and emotionally. Barresi told Mail Online, "When Amber hired me, she wanted proof that Johnny was a serial assaulter of women, and I couldn't find that. I couldn't find another woman who said Johnny assaulted them." Barresi said he interviewed more than a dozen people whose rent, medical bills, house payments, car payments, bail, and even legal fees were paid by Johnny. He said Johnny was besieged by people who ingratiated themselves into his domain. Once they were there, they'd scratch his back with one hand while the other took in the feed. The investigator added, even Amber in some respects was an opportunist on par with everyone else. She obviously knew his power in Hollywood, and she seized upon that power in the hopes of furthering her career. While his investigation was still ongoing, Barresi saw the inner workings of Johnny's lifestyle and was shocked to find the multimillionaire actor was king in the realm of entertainment, but also an easy game for people with predatory. According to the investigator, before his success in Pirates of the Caribbean, Depp had a troubled upbringing. He was a high school dropout with an assaultive mother who moved from a small town in Kentucky to Hollywood. He suffered childhood assault at the hands of his volatile and violent mother. Besides his past, Barresi also stated that he realized much of Depp's fall from grace was his own doing because he allowed himself to be surrounded by people who would take advantage of him. The PI said the decline and downfall were due to these grifters, these wannabes, these freeloaders that came into Johnny's life. And while this was the observation of an investigator, he wasn't the only one that saw that people wanted to milk the Pirates of the Caribbean star. Chucky Weiss, one of Depp's closest friends, thought the people Depp surrounded himself with were bad for the world-famous actor. Before Weiss died in 2021, Barresi said the songwriter told him, "For decades, Johnny's so-called friends stole from him. The worst part is they relied on his alcohol and drug problem to keep his head in the clouds so he didn't catch them doing it." Well, the new revelations by the investigator on Johnny's personality had a lot of fans gushing about what an amazing person he is. One user wrote, "Sounds like our Johnny Depp. God bless his soul." he is always a gentleman. Every single person that is talking about Johnny is always talking sweet about him. Everyone loves him and says he is the kindest person ever. Well, you could say that even the fans know exactly the kind of person Johnny is, and that's probably what has helped him attain this level of success after his life was literally yanked away from him. Now, only the sky's the limit for the actor. Remember that these details are based on theories and research and should be regarded as such. That's it for now, guys. I'll see you on the next one.